Everybody is saying it. Arc Raiders just beat Marathon at their own game. Reviewers are even calling Arc Raiders the best new extraction shooter, while Marathon, well, people are already writing Bungie off before Marathon even releases. Arc Raiders might be winning the launch, but I truly think that Marathon might, in the end, win the race. I'm active, lifelong FPS addict, professional commentator / content creator, and someone who's sunk way more hours into extraction shooters recently than I thought I ever would. Today, we're breaking down what Arc Raiders is getting right, what Marathon still needs to figure out, and how Bungie can learn from Embark's success without losing what makes Marathon so special. Let's start with Arc Raiders, the game that came out swinging. It's third person, PvPvE, and somehow it makes every run feel like a literal sci-fi movie that you're controlling in real time. You spawn topside thinking you're just here for, a loot drop, and 5 minutes later, you're ducking under a 30-foot arc mech while another squad flanks you from behind in a sandstorm. Yeah, it's chaos, but it's beautiful chaos. Critics are calling it the story generator because literally every raid feels different from the last. It's emergent AI, the objectives, and of course, we barely made it out alive moments. And the best part, well, it's accessible. You can jump in, die, laugh, learn, and still feel like you're progressing in the game. Arc Raiders is proof that extraction shooters don't have to punish you into quitting. They can entertain you into staying. And I think this has been a big problem in extraction shooters as of late. They've all been milsim games, and you have a lot of people saying, I don't like extraction games, but now the tide is turning. Now we're seeing a lot of people be introduced to this beautiful genre that have never played it before or even never thought they would. But honestly, great storytelling doesn't always mean great longevity, right? Arc Raiders nails the moment to moment, yet it doesn't guarantee it'll own the long game. And that's where Marathon could still catch up, even though they're not slated to release until March of next year. Let's switch the script though. Let's go on the other side of things and talk about Marathon. Well, it's first person. I'm a big fan of that. It's sleek, stylish, and it's Bungie through and through. The gunplay, it's incredible. Every shot feels like Destiny refined down to its purest forms. The visual, well, I can't go into detail because I'm under NDA, but I can tell you things have improved drastically. But right now, Marathon feels like a gun range searching for a soul. We know the core, 3-man squads, hero-based runners, which I want to talk about a little later, but contracts and extraction. What's missing is that emotional heartbeat, the why between each run. Players in early previews said the same thing. Gunplay and fights were incredible, but they walked away wondering, what am I building towards? The loop needs identity, something to chase, lose, and something to care about. So let's talk about it, right? The gunplay's A tier. The atmosphere, well, it was lackluster, but maybe, possibly in the future, could be A tier. Without that world and progression system, even Bungie's aim might miss the mark. But let's really dive into what Marathon can learn from Arc Raiders, because the fact that Arc Raiders released early is huge for Marathon. Here's where the student can learn from the teacher. There's 4 key lessons here, okay? Hang with me for a sec. Lesson 1, make the world happen to players. Arc Raiders throws weather, enemy patrols, and rival squads at you mid-mission. Every match, like we said earlier, is literally a story. Marathon needs that chaos. At the current time, Marathon felt like a battle royale. Marathon needs that chaos. The AI threats are a big part of that, environmental events, and honestly, anything that forces a squad to adapt. Predictable raids die fast, and that's going to be a problem for Marathon if it's not fixed. The second thing we're going to talk about is give players a home. Arc Raiders Speranza Hub is dirty, crowded, and alive. The menu screen is, of course, a look at Speranza, and then you enter your little area where you have a lot of things to upgrade. Marathon needs something like this. Escape from Tarkov has the hideout. Arc Raiders does it a different way here, but Marathon needs its own way with like a Tossetti station, for instance. I think a living space builds attachment to the game. It allows you to feel invested and feel like the time you're putting in is worth something. In Arc Raiders, you level up your workstations, and the better they are, the better the weapons you can bring topside. On top of that, each weapon can be upgraded to level 4, which drastically improves that weapon. You're always building towards something impactful. Marathon honestly needs to learn from that. How does each runner grow? What does their tech tree unlock? Why does loot matter beyond one match? The loot in Marathon prior to closed tests, it felt a bit lackluster, honestly. I would go as far as to say is the only things that mattered were weapons and shields. I want to feel like if I get something rare in the match, I'm excited and I'm jumping for joy knowing that this item, if I get out with it, of course, will progress me forward in a big way. That really intensifies the extraction part of the game. And of course, lesson 4, respect the new player. Arc Raiders onboarding is incredible. It doesn't do it by humiliating them. And the early missions honestly teach core mechanics without like that Tarkov level punishment that other games have. Marathon needs that gentle ramp up, right? It's important to have that very high skill ceiling, but also the very low skill floor. Right now, the biggest complaint is it looks good, but what am I doing besides shooting people? If Bungie answers that question with depth and purpose, the conversation changes completely overnight. Now I want to talk about why Marathon has its own lane. So many people say Arc Raiders has beaten Marathon, but these two games can coexist, right? Here's the part that people forget. Marathon isn't trying to be Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders is about the moment. Marathon is about the meta. Arc Raiders asks, what crazy story did you live tonight? And Marathon's players ask, well, what story are we building this season? The hero running system alone makes Marathon the first extraction shooter to build around team composition and synergy. On top of the fact that it's a first-person shooter, which changes things as well for those players that maybe don't prefer third-person shooters. Imagine pairing a tank runner who can soak up damage with a stealth runner who sets up ambushes, right? That's Bungie FPS chess. It's what they're good at. They've done it for decades, starting with Halo 1, Halo 2, and Halo 3. And of course, don't forget their live service pedigree, right? This studio turned Destiny from a rocky launch into a decade-long franchise through community-driven updates. And I'm aware of the status of it now, but regardless of that, they understand how to build a community. So yeah, Arc Raiders might own 2025 Steam charts for a while, but if Marathon gets progression and world narrative right, it could honestly own the genre for the next 10 years. So no, Marathon is not doomed and Arc Raiders will still have its success, and I honestly think they can thrive together. One is a third-person shooter, one is a first-person shooter. For those of you that have played both, and of course don't ruin NDA, that would be stupid, let me know in the comment section below which one you like better. Do you like Marathon better, or do you think Arc Raiders is the better game for you personally? My name is Ben Active, of course. If you like this video, hit the sub button, hit the like button, and ladies and gentlemen, lots more Marathon content coming up soon. I will see you in the next video. God bless.